I welcome the managers and the councillors' agreement to reopen the budget process for 2013 and to reconstitute the budget consultative group, and the Fianna Fáil group will engage in that process. The last item on the agenda, a large number of us are very critical of governance and poor governance, adherence to poor governance by the City Council. And in this instance, this 2.2 million comes about because the cut to the funding for City Council from national government was not as severe as we had anticipated when we made our estimate back in November. And at that meeting, the Fianna Fáil group did propose that as councillors we would practice good governance and we would defer our decision on the budget at that time until we had all the information from national government. So we as councillors can be critical of management not adhering to good governance, but we failed ourselves by not practicing good governance back in November. Now we have an opportunity to correct it, and we will engage, the Fianna Fáil group will engage in that. But the two items that are listed in the report, the issue of funding for roads, as I understand it, that 1.6 million is only the allocation from the NRA. There's also funding for roads comes from the MTA. So I think if we're going to consider that item, we need to consider it in the whole. And in terms of the property tax, this 2.2 million can't be used for the property tax or to pay the debt of the property tax, and we don't know how much it will be for the City Council, but I know that a very conservative estimate puts it at least at 1.5 million for this year alone, which is half a year. So we're talking about 3 million, and if that property tax is to be paid, it is going to have to be paid in a sustainable way. I'm opposed to the property tax as it's been put forward by the government. I think it is anti-Dublin, and I think it is unfair, and I think it is absolutely unsustainable. But it is not in the gift of the 2.2 million to fix that problem, because that would only be a short-term fix. And what I'd like to know from management is, in their dealings with national government, in getting clarity from them on how the City Council is meant to collect that property tax, what exemptions are we looking for, and what amendments to the government's legislation are we looking for? Because we need to be looking for real amendments if a property tax is to be in any way sustainable, and I don't think in the form it's being proposed it will be sustainable. And finally, Lord Mayor, when the Fianna Fáil group put together submissions, we weren't parochial about it. We sought to address issues of reopening boarded up housing units in the city, create employment potentially through that, provide housing, reintroduce a waiver. We will engage in the budgetary process with the rest of the councillors, but we have asked you previously for a special meeting, and we believe that it will only be good governance to hold a special meeting when that budgetary process is concluded, so that when we as councillors do our job this time to put a budget in place, we actually do it properly through a special meeting, and we will renew that request to you, Lord Mayor. Thank you.
Councillor Councillor John.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I have read